Last year, politics, nationalism, and an already intense sports rivalry all collided on the ice. Talking about the 2025 Four Nations face-off, culminating in a David and Goliath championship match between Canada and the U.S. Now, while a hockey win for our country is always nice, which happened in overtime, it felt like there was a lot more at stake in these games. Amid President Trump's 51st state rhetoric. You got to put your head back last year at this time, right? It was the time of elbows up. A new documentary looks not only at the intense gameplay and epic ice brawls that were happening during the games, but at how politics bled into the arena and how a whole country reevaluated our national identity. Here's a clip from the trailer.
Wasn't the Olympics, but it felt that big.
The wait is over.
It's been a really long time. We need to get best on best back at those big games where it's country against country and it becomes more than hockey.
Opening night of the Four Nations face-off.
To learn more, Yon Motskin's here to talk about it. He's director of the documentary called Rivals, the Four Nations Face-Off, and he's in New York. Good morning. Thanks for being with us on CBC.
Good morning, Marcy. Thank you.
You know, when I think about this, before I ask you more about the doc specifically, all I think about is like the whistle blow, and it felt like in 5 seconds the gloves were off. I mean, the intensity right from the start, right?
I mean, it was 3 fights in 9 seconds. We've never seen anything like that in hockey ever.
And when you talk about the fact that, politics bleeding into hockey, did that moment feel like that was actually not about hockey at all?
Well, I was watching the tournament like a lot of people were. And I've been watching hockey since I was a kid. I played as a kid. I'm now a hockey dad. My son is a teenager. So I spend a lot of time around the game. And I was thinking, something feels different in this game. And I was like, what is going on? And so I started asking around to a lot of my friends, Canadian friends, and they all felt the same thing. They was like, why are we thinking about our Canadianness now as we're watching the game? And we haven't really thought about this before. And so that was partly why I wanted to make the film, which is what was going on and why was it going on? And what does this mean for all of us sort of regular people who are just fans of the game and Canadians? It felt like something different in our lifetime.
Yeah, it sure did. Tell me a little bit about how you explore that then in the documentary. Like, who do we hear from?
Well, so we partnered with the NHL. So look, first of all, it's a sports movie and it's a hockey movie. So we partnered with the NHL and the NHLPA and PK Subban, who's one of my producing partners and former Montreal Canadian All-Star. So you hear from him. So we hear from a lot of the great players, both on the Canadian side and on the American side. Connor McDavid, the greatest player on the planet. I talked to Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett and Brandon Hagel, two of the guys that were in that epic brawl. What's cool is that they break down how it went down, why it happened, who said what to whom, which you never really get to hear about when you're just watching a regular game. You just get to see it and then move on. And
try to read their lips, right?
Exactly. But they were mic'd, so we had the mic, so we were able to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk, the brothers on the American side, great players, but they were also in that brawl. And then we hear from,
we love to hate the Tkachuk, even though we have Tkachuk history with the Jets here. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You love to hate them, but that's why they're so good.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I interrupted you there. You were going to go on with who else you hear from beyond the players.
No problem. But, speaking of Winnipeg, we spent some time with Chantal Kreviazak, Grammy-winning singer-songwriter who is from Winnipeg, and she invited us to her parents' home, where she grew up in Winnipeg. And that was really great. And she's in the film because she changed the words to the national anthem at the game.
That's right.
Which became a big sort of flashpoint for people. Justin Trudeau, the former prime minister.
Yep. I'm curious, Yon, we talked about, and we both started almost connecting. You could feel that Canadianness, right? And how we sort of felt that moment. And you said a lot of people, you talked to your Canadian friends, felt that moment. What did the Americans say?
So that's a really good question. One person that I spoke to was a writer named Nick Baumgarten. He writes for The New Yorker. He's a big hockey writer as well. And it's funny, he says in the film, he talks about the rise of USA hockey and how this idea of underdogs and favorites and bullies. And as an American, He thinks, okay, America has always been an underdog. Now, hockey-wise, America and Canada are sort of equal, and so they're rivals. But as an American fan, he said, you know what? I really want Canada to win. Canada needs this because, think what you will politically, but what Donald Trump was saying and doing in terms of the 51st state and annexing Canada, that wasn't right. And people just wanted the underdog, in this case, Canada, politically, to stand up and fight back against the bully.
With the Olympics about to start this week, I wonder whether we're going to see the same kind of heated rivalry continue with the same kind of intensity, especially with the NHL players back in the Olympics.
You said it yourself, the rivalry is only going to get more heated. Look, you've got the best players in the world, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Austin Matthews, the Kachucks, who, other than the Four Nations, have never played best on best international hockey in their careers. So they got a taste of it in the Four Nations. And so to be able to represent their country at the Olympics, it's going to be magnified by 10.
And now they're singing for the anthem to be played to the world and the flag to be raised to the banners. Thank you so much, Yon, for telling us more about your documentary, and congrats on it.
Thank you very much.
That is Yon Motskin with us live from New York, the director of Rivals, the Four Nations Face-Off. You can watch it exclusively, the Canadian premiere, on Thursday. So this is tomorrow. Check it out on CBC television at 8 o'clock or stream it on CBC Gem.